Hi guys, so I'm here today and I'm going to be explaining how you can correctly read a Protoss player and recognize if he in fact is going for an Oracle or there are threats of an Oracle and how to deal with it effectively so you don't lose too many units to Oracles, which I think every Terran and Zerg knows is very easy to do. So let's jump into the game really quickly. Now here is a game between me and a Protoss player. It was played about a week ago, and I wanted to share this replay because it shows the most aggressive proxy oracle timing. And so let's switch to my view so we can see exactly what I scout for to be able to know that a proxy oracle is in fact coming and it is not a different kind of tech. So I like to scout. I don't scout right away, I scout with the SCV that finishes my barracks. And the timing of that lines up so that you can get to the Protoss's main base in time to see if there is a proxy pylon, or if there is a super fast nexus, or if it's going to be a 10 gate or some sort of zealot stalker mothership core pressure. So let's follow this SCV, see where he wants to go. Polar Knight's a pretty good map to do proxy oracles on. There are many locations that you can use around the map. It's a very, very hard map to scout every single proxy location. You need more than just a Reaper to cover that ground. So my SCV comes in, it sees one gas, it sees both gas, and the gas is, first of all, it's mining really, really fast. I haven't even started my command center, and he has 2 gas already started. So that's a very, very fast gas. He has some saved up chrono, so we know that he hasn't been chrono boosting his probes out. And the next important thing to look for is where are his pylons. We see one pylon there. There's no cybernetics core researching, and he's chronoing a stalker out, and he's not chronoing anything out of his mothership core. So we know that since he isn't chronoing anything out of his mothership core, he's not chronoing out a mothership core right away, and we didn't see the warp gate tech, and we only see a chrono being used to chrono out the stalker. So why would you mine all this gas? Why would you mine so much gas from 2 geysers if you're going to fast expand? And you're probably not going to fast expand off of this. And what the gas is being used instead of the mothership core and the warp gate research is in fact for a stargate. Now this guy makes a small mistake, and he lets his probe be seen from the position that it's coming from. So immediately my Reaper is gonna know. Yeah, my Reaper is gonna first kill the probe, and since I saw it coming from this direction, that's gonna be the first place I scout. But I do have a good feeling it's a proxy oracle because my SCV scouted around the entire base and I only saw one pylon. And there is only one pylon in his main base because his second pylon is proxied over here. So by only scouting one, so right away I already know it's an oracle that's coming, and here's my reason behind it. Because there are 2 gas, and the gas is not being spent on a mothership core and a stalker, and there's only one pylon. So the gas has to be spent somewhere else, and when my SCV scout comes, there should be a second pylon in the base. And there wasn't, and I scouted for it. So I know that a building is indeed being proxied, and it's most likely an oracle, because you wouldn't delay warp gate research in favor of, like, if you were doing a blink all-in build and you proxied the Citadel, then you wouldn't delay warp gate research for it, because it's a one-base timing attack, and you want to get warp gate and blink out as fast as possible. So I get lucky because he showed his probe over here, and I end up finding the star port, and I do get confirmation that it is an oracle. Now, regardless of whether it's an oracle or not, since there is a proxy off of the second pylon, Normally, if you're gonna proxy tech, it's gonna be off of the third pylon because you need a second pylon in order to get out a stalker and a mothership core. See, he's already kind of supply blocked because it's really tight because an oracle costs 3 supply. So I would still make an engineering bay and a turret. So let's first see how this timing works out. This oracle is going to finish very, very fast. In fact, since he proxied it off of his second pylon, I do not even have, let's see, I only have 2 marines, and there's another 2 coming out. So if I didn't have this turret, I would automatically be dead. So let's see when I put down the engineering bay. An engineering bay takes 35 seconds to build, and I think an oracle takes 50 seconds to build. I'm not too sure about that. But I do put down my engineering bay at 3 minutes and 55 seconds, right after I've scouted his base, and I have seen only 1 pylon, no warp gate research, and no chrono on the nexus, which means there's no early mothership core coming out. So at this point, 355, I know that he is going for a proxy oracle, and that's when my engineering bay needs to go down. It's very, very important to get it down, because if you don't have a turret up in your mineral line, the oracle is just going to do a crazy amount of damage. It takes 35 seconds for an engineering bay to build, and another 25 seconds for a turret to build. So it's 50 seconds, and an oracle takes 50 seconds to build. Alright, so my turret is done about the same time as an oracle, so that's actually really great timing for me. Any later, if the turret is not done and the oracle is already here, then you're in big trouble because the oracle is just gonna kill the oracle is gonna get at least 3 to 4 kills on your SCV line before the turret does finish up, and then it can just fly away and it'll survive. But in this case, he doesn't get to do any damage. He snipes my command center. He doesn't get a chance to kill the SCV building the bunker, which is nice. But I also build a bunker here because it's important to keep my marine count high, and it's also common. I did see him chrono out a stalker from his gateway, so if he brought the oracle in and my marines were over here, and then he brought a stalker in from this side and he started harassing me, he'd be able to out micro me because I wouldn't be able to chase the stalker down, and I wouldn't be able to move outside of the turret line because of the oracle. So that's why I built the bunker as well. And I believe I built it about the same time as the engineering bay. Oh, okay, so I built the engineering bay first because I know that the oracle is going to come first, but then I do build a bunker as well. Yeah, about the same time as the turret. So it is still fairly fast, but I'd get engineering bay, turret, and then bunker in that order. And this is just very fortunate because you can't rely on being able to scout out the stargate like that. Yeah, it's a stargate all the time. And so I get to save my marines, and this bunker also prevents a stalker from running by and basically leaving my main base unsecure, which I needed to be secured. And I'm building a turret here because it is a proxy. That oracle was a very early oracle, and he did no economic damage, so the next logical step for him to do would be to all-in me, and I'm going to check over here if he does have a fast expansion or not. And he does not have a fast expansion, so I don't have to cancel that turret, and I let it finish. If he did have a fast expansion, I would have just canceled the turret, because you wouldn't need a turret. But a turret's very, very important against Oracle all-ins and Void Ray all-ins, because Void Ray, without a turret, the Void Rays destroy a bunker. And Oracles in mass also do terrible damage to a bunker as well. And a turret also has, not only do they provide some protection, but they are also actually a really good anti-air DPS unit, because they do 12 damage times 2, so they do 24 damage every 0.86 seconds. That's the same amount that a Marine fires. They do 4 times as much damage as a Marine does in the same amount of time to air units. So it's very, very useful anti-air weapon. And since I didn't scout the Nexus, if the Reaper doesn't survive and you can't scout the Nexus with it, and you can't sneak an SCV with it either, then it would be pretty safe to throw down a scan just to check if he has an expansion or not. Because if he does have an expansion, that means he's not going to be committing to gateway pressure, so you wouldn't need the additional bunkers and defense. So, since his Oracle didn't do any damage because I had the turret up in time, I'm in a pretty good position. And he loses the Oracle. That was pretty bad. And then he shows his Void Rays. So at this point, I know that it's going to be a Void Ray all in. All of his gas is going into these scary, scary things. So I start, since I know he's on one base, and he is putting all his money into army, and also more army, gateways. Strangely, he didn't build a mothership core, but I guess, whatever. If he had a mothership core here, it would have been a lot better for his harass, because the Void Rays they do outrange Marines, so finding them in a time warp would be very good for him and very bad for me. But I build a couple more turrets because Void Rays do 6 DPS to buildings, because buildings are armored buildings or are armored units. And I also build a turret over here because he is going to be doing a lot of harassment to my gas and potentially my barracks and my command center. And I don't want to deal with that. I want to zone out the Void Rays as much as possible. That's also another reason why I build a turret there. And a Widow Mine is also very useful because it'll one-shot a Void. I believe it'll one-shot a Void Ray, and if not, it'll do a lot of damage to it. So I repositioned the Widow Mine so he doesn't have a good, he can't really go there and harass me without me being able to catch him, because there's a lot more space there for me to run my Marines. And at this point, I'm in a very good position because his Void Rays haven't done very much damage, his Oracle hasn't done very much damage, so his all-in isn't going to be as powerful compared to if he killed, let's say, like 5 workers early on with the Oracle. So by properly reacting to an all-in, by IDing what it is, and IDing the next follow-up after the cheese has failed, you will be ahead, so you can do the appropriate measures, either play defensively or start exerting map control, landing your base, and taking your expansion. And then you'll be economically ahead if he tries to play economically. So it's really all about the Terran player not messing up. It's on the Terran player to play bad and make a mistake and let the Protoss do some crazy damage and get him back into the game. So his Void Ray count has been increasing. So I know that he still doesn't have a Nexus up, because if he did, he wouldn't have been making Void Rays. Void Rays are really expensive, by the way, 250, 150, so this is a very, very expensive army. So I send a drop over there because I am completely safe over here. There's no way he can bust me down. Well, there's no way he can cost effectively bust me down, and I'm doing an okay job defending my my ass over here. So by sending a drop and really messing with his economy, he can't just keep doing this pressure and building up a bunch of units, which is what he's currently doing. This drop is very important. This drop is basically a game ender, and it forces him to engage me, which he doesn't want to do because his units have not done any damage to my base because of what I did to defend against it. And it's just a very comfortable position that I'm in. I also leave an SCV out here to spot for when he is going to go up my ramp, so I can pull some SCVs in time. So I see those guys, I can move my units and pull my SCVs. Now, this is what I was talking about earlier. This is why turrets are really important. This is how much damage Void Rays deal to turrets and to buildings. because they are armored structures. And it's not enough just to repair them. The building is going to go down if it's focus fired by the void rays. See, that turret just died in about 3 seconds, and that's not even enough time for my SCVs to surround it and to repair it. It does give me time though. If that turret wasn't there, then he would have been able to destroy a bunker already before my SCVs got here, but because that turret was there, it bought some time and allowed my SCVs to be able to start repairing my bunkers. But see, it's not the best surround, and the bunker just dropped basically. Now I do get a surround there and I do repair it, but as you can see, I had about 8 SCVs repairing that bunker against 5 void rays, and that bunker still dropped. That's why the turret's very important, because it allows the void rays not to be able to fire and target down the bunker really fast like that, because the turret deals a lot of DPS as well. Now at this point, it's taken him. I've done way too much damage. He's taken too much damage breaking into the main, and it's just gonna be a GG from here. So let me just recap what exactly happened that made the game, or that allowed me to be in such a comfortable position. So first, Reaper Expand. It's the best way to scout the Protoss player, and I scouted after my barracks was done. There we go. This SCV scouts for not only Proxy second pylons. It was a second pylon. Here, there's 2 pylons, one here and one there. So not only to scout for very fast Proxy pylons, but also to scout for a 10 gate or a Zealot Mothership Core expand pressure build with a Zealot, 2 Stalkers, and a Mothership Core. So that's what this SCV is for. And it doesn't see any pylons, and it saw no cybernetics, it saw no gateway, warp gate research being used, it saw 2 gas taken extremely early, and it saw no Mothership Core being fronted out. So that we know when we see either no warp gate research, that's a very big, and 2 gas, we know that's a very big tell to what the Protoss player is doing. Because warp gate, he would get warp gate and he would get a Mothership Core if he was going to do a DT rush or a blink stock all in. And those both do come later than the Proxy oracles, so that's why you don't need the warp gate. And then, even if I wasn't able to scout this, I do build my engineering bay as soon as I know that there is a Proxy pylon out on the map and there's no warp gate and there's no Mothership being fronted. And there's also the Mothership Core. Also, there's a little symbol that comes up on top of the Nexus, so you know when a Mothership Core is being built rather than corpse. So I build my command center in natural. I also build a super fast engineering bay, and what this does is allow me to buy time to get a high enough main quota, because I need 6 Marines to kill an Oracle, and this Oracle comes out to kill about 6 Marines, so the turret is very necessary. And I also get the buffer so that the Stalker can come up and harass me as well as the Oracles. So that's all you need to do to deflect something like this. If you can scout for repair defense in time, that's pretty much it. If you take a look, P has done damage, he lost that card, so P is technically even declined. And this orc has done no damage, his heavy investment into Manifest has done nothing. And so the next step after this Oracle is to determine whether he takes a Nexus or not, and he would start taking a Nexus right about now if he wasn't making a Void Ray. So at about 5:30 to 6 minutes, if he doesn't have a Nexus down, and if you can scout with your Reaper, that's ideal. So it's very important to keep the Reaper alive. But if you don't, then throw down a scan from 5:30 to 6 minutes, probably closer to 6 minutes, to check for a Nexus. And if there's a Nexus, then he's transitioning out of the build. But if there's not a Nexus, then he's going to be adding gateways and be doing a Stargate all-in. And it could be an Oracle all-in, a Void Ray all-in, or even a what's it called, a Tempest all-in. So yeah, hopefully that helps you guys. Hopefully that helps you guys be able to play against Oracles better and more comfortably. This is how to defend versus a proxy Oracle. And I hope you guys enjoy the little tip of a video. And I will probably be recording some more of them. If you guys have any suggestions on different things you want me to talk about and explain, such as like how to defend against like a proxy DT expand, or how to know if a Protoss is going for a blink all-in or if he's going to do a blink macro build, or anything like that in any Terran related matchup, then just let me know and I will make a video about it like this. Alright, see you.